The Supreme Court of the Netherlands on Friday upheld a ruling that found the Dutch state partly liable for the 1995 deaths of 350 Bosnian Muslim men. The men were expelled from a United Nations base and executed at Srebrenica by Bosnian Serb forces.
The responsibility, the liability, is limited to 10% of the damages suffered by the remaining relatives of 350 male refugees who were staying at the compound of Dutchbat. And the chances that the international community had been able to stop it, or that the Bosnian Serbs would not have done that out of themselves, were considered very slim by the Supreme Court.
Around 8,000 Muslim men and boys in all were taken away and murdered in what was the worst mass slaughter on European soil since World War II. Gada Hotic, a member of the survivors group Mothers of Srebrenica, says the Dutch government was responsible for the start of the massacre in Srebrenica.
If
it is 1%, 10%, or 100%, they are responsible. It is their cynicism, primitivism, and their own incapability that they can only recognize it for 10%.
Several hundred outgunned Dutch peacekeeping troops had been assigned to protect a UN-designated safe area where thousands of Muslims had sought refuge from Bosnian Serb forces, among them 350 men who made it into the Dutch base. The Supreme Court found that Dutch forces could have allowed the men to stay in the base, and that by handing them over, they had knowingly and unlawfully sent them to possible abuse or death at the hands of the Bosnian Serb forces. The Dutch ruling paves the way for the payment of damages to the families of victims and survivors of the killings at Srebrenica. The amount of damages was not specified, but in an earlier case, the Dutch state paid tens of thousands of euros to several survivors.